गिरिवरमहो राधिका माधवासां प्राप्तो यस्य प्रथितकृपया श्रीगुरुं तं नतोऽस्मि। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवैभव पुरी गोस्वामी नामिने। अजानुलम्बितभुजौ कनकावदातौ संकीर्तनैकपितरौ कमलायताक्षौ विश्वम्भरो द्विजवरौ जुगधर्मपालो वन्दे जगत्प्रियकरो करुणावतारो। हेलोदुलितहृदया विशदया प्रुन्मीलदामोदया साम्यशास्त्रविवादया रसदया चित्तार्पितोन्मादया शाश्वतभक्तिविनोदया समदया माधुर्यमर्यादया श्रीचैतन्यदया निधे तव दया भूयादमन्दोदया। तस्या अपार रससार विलासमूर्ते रानन्दकन्द परमाधुत सौख्यलक्ष्म्यः ब्रह्मादिदुर्गमगते वृषभानुजायाः कैङ्कर्यमेव मम जन्मनि जन्मनि स्यात्। तवैवास्मि तवैवास्मि न जीवामि त्वया विना इति विज्ञाय राधे त्वं नय मां शरणान्तिकम्। हा देवी काकुभरगाद्गदयाद्यवाचा जाते निपत्य भुवि दण्डवतवोर्ध्वटातिः अस्य प्रसादमबुधस्य जनस्य कृत्वा गान्धर्विके निजगणे गणनां विधेहि। अंगश्यामलिमच्छटाभिरभितो मन्दीकृतेन्दीवरम् जाड्यं जागुडरोचिषां विदधतं पट्टाम्बरस्य श्रिया। बृन्दारण्यनिवासिनां हृदि लसत् दामाभिरामोदरम् राधास्कन्धनिवेशितोज्ज्वलभुजं ध्यायेम दामोदरम्। नीलाचलनिवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्रसुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। भक्त्या विहीना अपराधलक्ष्यै क्षिप्ताश्च कामादितरङ्गमध्ये कृपामयि त्वां शरणं प्रपन्ना वृन्देनुमस्ते चरणारविन्दम् जं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेतमपेतकृत्यं द्वैपायन विरहकातर आजुहाव पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरोभिनेदुः तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् तमादिदेवं करुणानिधानं तमालवर्णं सुहितावतारम् अपार संसार समुद्रसेतुं भजामहे भागवत स्वरूपं वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः आददानं तृणं दन्तै हृदं जाचे पुनः पुनः श्रीमद्रूपपदाम्भोज धूलिश्यां जन्म जन्मनि श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले सोऽयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं जय रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्रीजीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानंदनामिने गौरशक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुगवरायते हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे First of all, I offer my innumerable Sastang Dandavas unto the lotus feet of my Guru Pada Padma, Nittala Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Paramahansa, Ashtotar Sata Sri Srimad Bhakti Vaibhava Puri Goswami Maharaj, and pray his causeless mercy. Then I offer my innumerable Sastang Dandavas unto the lotus feet of His Divine Grace Nittala Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Ashtotar Sata Sri Srimad Bhakti Jivan Janardhan Goswami Maharaj, then to His Divine Grace Nittala Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Ashtotar Sata Sri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, then to His Divine Grace Nittala Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Ashtotar Sata Sri Srimad A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada, then to His Divine Grace Nittala Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Ashtotar Sata Sri Srimad Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, then to all Guru Vargas, Guru Parampara, and pray their causeless mercy. Then I offer my innumerable Sastang Dandavas unto the lotus feet of all present sannyasis, brahmacharis, Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, Brajavasis, God brothers and God sisters, ladies and gentlemen, and pray the causeless mercy of God. महाराज जय सज्जन महाराज की जय। Last few days we have been listening and relishing the sweetness of Krishna's beauty, and that is also being explained by Radharani herself, which is the highest elaborator or who can explain in detail about the beauty of Krishna. So Radharani is explaining how beautiful Krishna is, so that she is unable to control her senses. Now one problem is, now Radharani explaining in front of her Sakhi Vishakha that, oh my dear Sakhi, now you tell me what to do. If one sense is being disturbed, then it is possible to control anyhow. But now my 5 senses are being disturbed simultaneously, and which is difficult to control. So tell me how to control. And what was Radharani's explanation? It is explained by Kaviraj Goswami and Bhaktivinoda Thakur in the meter called Sardula Vikridita Chanda. Saurabh Saundaryamrita Sindhu Bhangalalana Chitadri Samplavakaha Karnanandi Sanarmaramya Vachanaha Kotindu Sitangakaha Saurabhyamrita Samplavavruta Jagat Piyusaramyadharaha Sri Gopendra Sutaha Sakarsati Bala Panchendriyani Alime Sri Gopendra Sutaha Sakarsati Bala Panchendriyani Alime. Hey Ali, means, oh my dear Sakhi Vishakha, now my all senses are being disturbed by Krishna. 5 senses are simultaneously, and we explained already we explained the beauty, how I was being attracted by Krishna. Then we explained about that torch, how Krishna is so cold that any kind of fire or threefold misery can be cooled down only by touching Krishna. So today, now Radharani speaking, Saurabhyamrita Samplavavruta Jagat Piyusaramyadharaha Sri Gopendra Sutaha Sakarsati Bala Panchendriyani Alime. Hey Ali, मैं Panchendriyani Karsati. Ali means in Sanskrit, Ali means Sakhi. Here Sakhi means Vishakha. Oh Ali means, oh my dear Sakhi Vishakha, मैं Panchendriyani Karsati. मैं means my, Pancha means 5, Indriyani means senses. My 5 senses are being attracted by Krishna. Out of them I have already spoken, eye, touch, and now ear also, 2 more senses. Now Radharani speaking, how Krishna is attracting Radharani's nose. Now nose. Saurabhyamrita Samplavavruta Jagat. Krishna is overflowing whole world by the fragrance of his body. Krishna's fragrance is so attractive that who will smell, and a particular fragrance if you enter in the nostril of any jiva, he will forget for all fragrance of the material world. Not like this only. Even Radharani's also fragrance is so attractive to Krishna. Yesterday I was explaining, not repeating again. Radharani's fragrance also so attractive, which is Krishna always desiring. And now Radharani is explaining herself how Krishna's bodily fragrance is attractive, that she is unable to control the nose. And Radharani telling, not myself is in disturbance, whole world. Why? Saurabhya mrita samplava bhuta jagat. Oh my dear Sakhi Vishakha, whole world is being overflooded by the sweet fragrance of Krishna's body. Then what to speak myself? Whole world, sampla bhuta jagat. Radharani telling jagat. Jagat means whole world. Whole world is being attracted by the fragrance of Krishna. So I am inside the world. How I can be bereft of that? So I am also now being attracted by the bodily fragrance of Krishna. So my nose is desiring to smell Krishna's fragrance. And Piyusha Ramyadharaha. Then last sense is tongue. My tongue is also being attracted to release the sweetness of Krishna's nectar of his lips. So if anyone will release the sweetness of Krishna's remnant which is coming from his lips, that nobody can compare in any universe. No, nothing is sweeter than that. Piyusha means nectar. Ramya means very beautiful. Adhara means the remnant coming from the lotus lips of Krishna. So here it will come in detail afterwards. But when Radharani getting the remnanted betel, which is called tambula, after Krishna eating, when that remnant is being given to Radharani, when Radharani is releasing that one, she is attaining the highest transcendental ecstasy. So this is one of the examples. But Radharani telling, Piyusha Ramyadhara, my tongue is being attracted by the nectar coming from the lips of Krishna. So, oh Vishakha, please give something which Krishna has eaten already. Radharani does not take anything without Krishna's remnant. Whatever you give, she will reject. Radharani takes only remnant of Krishna. Piyusha Ramyadhara. Why? Radharani knows Krishna's remnant is nectar. And other things if you take, you will be suffering from disease. Even in Krishna, in Bhagavad Gita said, one who is cooking for himself, he is really eating the sin. Jo pachanti atma karanat, papaha bhunjante. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna spoke to Arjuna, who is eating for himself, cooking and eating for himself, he is really eating not food, he is eating sins. But who is offering to me and eating and taking my remnant and prasad, he is really eating the nectar. So Radharani is Acharya of how to take the remnant of Krishna. So Radharani explaining, Piyusha Ramyadharaha, Krishna's adhara means lotus leaves, which is coming from Krishna's lotus leaves in the form of remnant or prasad, that is nectar. Everybody should take that only. So devotee should always take prasad, no material food. If we take material food, whether it will be influenced by tamagun, rajaguna, very rare sattva-guna. Mostly material foods are influenced by raja and tama. And whatever we will eat, that quality will go to us, then we cannot do bhajan. And as long as we have seen, we cannot do bhajan. When I purchased the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, when I was a student, and I was reading, since then one verse is in my memory forever. What is that? Jesam tu tvantagata papa jananam punya karmanam te dvanda moha nirmukta bhajanti mam drudavrata. Who can do bhajan and who cannot do bhajan? One who has a sin, he cannot do bhajan. When we are unable to do bhajan, when our senses are being disturbed, means we should know we have some fault, whether in this life or previous life, in the form of sin or offenses.
Offense is sure it cannot give you the opportunity to do the bhajan. What is the meaning of offense? Meaning of offense means apaha, gataha, radhaha, aradhana, jasman tat aparadha. What is the definition of aparadha? Offense. The real definition and meaning of aparadha means apagataha, means apaha gataha, radha aradhana, jasman tat aparadha. Aparadha is that object which will take out your bhajan. It will not let you to do bhajan. Then we should know that that is offense. When offense will happen, it will block your bhajan. It will not give the opportunity to remember a Guru, Vaishnava and Krishna. It will not give the desire to practice bhakti. When we feel this kind of feeling, we should know that we have committed some offenses. We should try to find out where is the offense, try to destroy this. But sin is different, aparadha is different. Sin will give you the pain, suffering will come, bodily, physically, mentally. But sin can be destroyed very easily. Sins are not so dangerous, but offense is very dangerous. And as long as offense, we cannot do bhajan. But if sins are there, sins can be destroyed very easily. So sin will be destroyed, and after that it can give you the opportunity to do bhajan. But as long as sin is there, we cannot do bhajan also. Why? It will disturb our mind, body by so many different varieties of disease, tensions, calamities, problems, suffering. All are the fruits of our previous sinful activities. So I remembered when I was studying Bhagavad Gita, in 4th chapter I think, there is one verse, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada was explaining that Jesam tvantagatam papam jananam punya karmanam te dvanda moho nirmukta bhajantimam dridhavartaha. Who can do bhajan and who will not do bhajan? Jesam papaha to antagataha. Jesam papaha to antagata. Whose sins are destroyed. Means before sin, but now no more sin, he destroyed by bhajan, by the blessings of Guru, Vaishnava and Bhakti. So whose sins are destroyed, now mind become transparent. So that no disturbance will come, no pain will come, no suffering will come. Then he can do bhajan peacefully, without any disturbances. But who has a sinful activities more, that will create problem. He has to struggle more. And he has to endeavor more how to destroy this and make the mind transparent. Then only we can do bhajan. But as long as we are neglecting, not trying to destroy that, then it will come in the form of obstacles and it will create problems for our bhajan. So, and our endeavor also necessary, because which we have done in previous life, that we have to enjoy. That is not in our hand. What is in our hand? Now present is in our hand. Past is not in our hand. Present and future is in our hand. But for past we have to repent only, nothing we can do. Because already we have done. For this we have to repent and pray. Then it will be destroyed. But present and future in our hand, we will not let to come. We can stop it. So, how we can stop this? We should not eat such a thing which will create problem in the form of Rajoguna and Tamoguna, in the mood of passion, in the quality of mood of ignorance, which is called Tamoguna. Why? Sattvat sanjayate jnana. The knowledge will come by Sattva Guna. But it depends upon food. If we eat food that in three modes of nature, which is Sattva, Raja, Tama, especially if Rajatama, then we cannot do bhajan. Sattva Guna will give the opportunity. Why? Sattva sanjayate jnana. By quality of goodness, jnana will come. So by that jnana, we can control the mind. So Sattva Guna is okay. But if we eat Visuddha Sattva, which is Nirguna, then mind become completely peaceful and it will give the bhajan. Otherwise impossible. So it is spoken in scripture that Satnavadi. Ahara means there is one verse. Whatever we eat, that will affect us. I don't remember that verse now. There is one. Oi, your mother, welcome. So, for devotees, food is very important. Though you see, try to see, who are eating wherever they want, whenever they want, everywhere, their mind will become restless, guaranteed. Your tongue may be gratified, your tongue may feel good, but mind become restless. If you try to test it, you test. You eat wherever you want in market, whatever you want to eat, then your body mind may feel blissful, tongue may feel blissful, but you cannot do bhajan, become restless. But those who are eating always only prasad, mind become very peaceful. So, food is very important for devotees. And many misunderstanding about the prasad also. Some are saying, even it is mostly prominent in Jagannath Puri. Some local people are telling, on Ekadashi day you take Jagannath Prasad. No problem. But our Jiva Goswami denied completely. Mahaprabhu also did not do this. Because devotees are taking everyday Mahaprasad. So on Ekadashi day, devotee should give up Mahaprasad. Because devotee always taking Mahaprasad only. On Ekadashi day, he should give up Mahaprasad. No rice, nothing. All the Mahaprasad. We have to respect, keep, and we should serve on Dwadashi day, no Ekadashi day. Completely denied in scripture. So, who are taking, let them take, but we should not take. As a Gaudiya Vaishnava, Jiva Goswami clearly spoken in Bhakti Sandarbha. Bhaktaha sarvadaiva mahaprasadam sevante. Ataha ekadasyam tu mahaprasadameva tyajet. Devotees are always taking Mahaprasad because without offering to Krishna we don't take. So, means we are taking every day Mahaprasad. So, it is instructed to give up food means that day means Mahaprasad. So, we should not take Mahaprasad on Ekadashi day. We should, if someone giving, just honor, keep it for Dwadashi to break as a param. But at any cost we should not eat Mahaprasad on Ekadashi day. This is not Gaudiya Siddhanta. So, here Radharani is glorifying what is the significance of taking Mahaprasad. So, Radharani telling, Piyusha Ramya Dhara. Krishna's remnants are like nectar. And Ramya means very beautiful, attractive. If you once take it, you will forget for everything. So, here prasad is very, very important. We should avoid as more as possible taking outside food. Whatever we should eat, offering to Krishna. Sometimes there is no temple, no duty, but mentally is there. Mentally you can offer, this you cannot avoid. So Krishna knows our heart, how we are offering or not. If he will see that we are offering, then it become prasad. Does not mean that always you have to go to temple only, there will only become Mahaprasad. It is impossible forever in every places. But our mind should be there to offer him. If mentally we offer also, Krishna knows, he is omniscient. But without offering him, we should not eat. And Radharani does not take anything without Krishna's remnant. So, she is relishing the sweetness of Krishna's remnant, which is like nectar. So, she is telling, Piyusha Ramya Dharaha, means Krishna's remnant which is coming from the lips of Krishna after eating, that is like nectar and very beautiful. So like this, my tongue is now attracted to take the remnant of Krishna. Because what is the sweetness coming after releasing the remnant of Krishna's battle to Radharani, that Radharani is now remembering and very eager to get that one. So she is requesting in front of Vishakha Sakhi, oh my dear Sakhi Vishakha, you kindly arrange, because my tongue is being attracted to the remnant of Krishna, which is like nectar. Otherwise, my tongue is uncontrolled now. Then who is doing all these? Radharani telling, Vishakha asked, who is doing all these? Because till now, she did not mention the name. Till now, I just for your clarification added the name. But Radharani did not speak the name till now. If I would not speak the name, then you cannot understand. That's why I explained about Krishna. But till now Radharani is not mentioning who is doing, disturbing Krishna, Radharani's all senses. Now in the last line, Radharani is speaking the name. How? You see till three lines, no name. You will find the name on the fourth line. Come to the first line of the verse. Saundaryamruta sindhu bhangalalana Chitadrisam plavakaha Karnanandi sanarma ramya vachanaha Kotindu sitangakaha Saurabhyamrita samplavavrita jagat Piyusaramyandharaha Sri Gopendra sutaha sakarsati bala Panchendriyanyalime. In the last line coming, who? Sri Gopendra. Gopendra means Nanda Maharaj. Gopanam Indra Gopendra, the king of all cowherd men. Gopos is Nanda Maharaj, and Sutta means son. The son of king of cowherd men means Nanda Maharaj, Nanda Nandan. Now Radharani telling Gopendra Sutta means the son of king of cowherd men is Nanda Maharaj, is Krishna. Sri Gopendra Sutta, Sutta means son. So Nanda Maharaj son Krishna, who is Nanda Nandan, Saha, that Krishna Karsati is attracting. Attracting to whom? Me Panchendriyani, my five senses. So Krishna is attracting my five senses. So by this Radharani explaining in front of Vishakha her weakness, how she is unable to control the five senses which is being attracted by Krishna. So this is the meaning of verse which we have been explaining 3-4 days, only this verse. Although I explained it, again Radharani speaking in detail for one sense. In this verse, Radharani explained that my five senses are being attracted by Krishna. Me Panchendriyani, my all five senses are being attracted by Krishna. Then Vishakha asked, how you are being attracted? Can you explain me? Then Radharani telling how one sense is being attracted. Again for 5 verses. In this one verse, she explained all together. Now, when Vishakha inquired again, now Radharani again explaining how one sense is being attracted by Krishna, how. Now, but then Radharani changing the meter in different verse, which is called Prithvi meter, Prithvi, the earth planet, Prithvi meter. So now Radharani explaining how I is being attracted first. Then I is being attracted how? By Krishna's beauty. But before we discussed only Krishna is so beautiful that Radharani's eyes are being attracted. But how beautiful did not explain. Now Radharani is explaining about the Krishna's beauty in one verse. What is the Krishna's beauty? Radharani explains now. Navambuddha lasadyuti नवविद्यो नवा मनोज्ञाम्बरः सुचित्र मुरली स्फुर शरदमन्द चन्द्राननः मयूरदलभूषितः सुभगतारहार प्रभः स मे मदन मोहनः सखी तनोति नेत्र स्पृहाम् स मे मदन मोहन सखी तनोति नेत्र स्पृहाम्. हे सखी means oh my beloved Sakhi Visakhe, who is that person who is attracting my all senses? Now before in that verse she spoke, who is Gopendra Sutta, means Nandanandan. But now in this verse, for each sense she is using the word Madana Mohan. Sa me means he, me means my. My senses are being attracted for him, or sa means he is attracting my senses. He is attracting my eye. Who is he? Saha Madana Mohan. Madan Mohan. We are telling Madan Mohan. What is the real meaning of Madan Mohan? Now we should know. We are telling Madan. What is the meaning of Madan Mohan? Now Radharani is speaking the real meaning of Madan Mohan. Same Madan Mohan. Sakhi Tanoti Netra Spruham. Oh my dear Sakhi, that Madan Mohan, Tanoti means increasing. Increasing. Me means my. Netra means eye. Surha means desire. The desire of my eye is increasing that Madan Mohan to see him. So who is Madan Mohan? What is the meaning of Madan Mohan? Madanaha means Kandarpaha. Mohana means who is being attracted. Or Madana means Kandarpa, means Cupid. Mohan means who is attracting to everyone. This is normal meaning of Madan Mohan. But what is the deepest meaning of Madan Mohan? All of us, we are always thinking Madan means Cupid. This is common. This meaning is known to everyone. There is secret meaning of Madan, which is realizable, and Radharani is realizing that one. So Radharani's eye is being attracted by that Madan Mohan, not this transcendental, not this material Cupid. So what is the meaning of Madan Mohan? Madan, first Madan, then Mohan. Why? Unless we understand what is Madan Mohan, then we cannot understand this verse. Why? Radharani speaking, Same Madana Mohana Sakhi Tanoti Netra Spruham. Oh my dear Sakhi Visakha, that Madan Mohana is Tanoti, increasing my desire to see his beauty. So there is no one, no any person who can attract Radharani without Krishna. No any person manifested in the past, manifested in present also, and will be manifested in future who can attract Radharani except Krishna. Krishna is the only one who can attract Krishna. That's why his name is Madan Mohan. But this transcendental Cupid is only Krishna himself. But a material Cupid has no power to attract Radharani. He could not attract even Krishna. He was defeated in Rasa dance time. Before performance of Rasa Lila, Madan, the material Cupid, came to test Krishna, to fight with Krishna, but he was defeated. That is bigger story. I am not going to that. It will take 1 hour for explanation. So now come to the point, the real, the sweetest meaning of Madan. Because Madan means we know that Kandarpa means the Cupid, who is disturbing to everyone's sense. But there is one sweetest meaning of Madan. What is the meaning of Madan? Madayati. Madayati Sambhogan se Harsayati. Vipralamban se Glapayati iti Madanaha. Madayati. This is the most secret meaning of Madan, which is very difficult to find this meaning. Even I could not get before. Only this year I got this meaning. Till this year, I was also thinking Madan means Cupid, but I was only telling transcendental and material. When we were applying to Krishna, then we were using as a transcendental. When we were using for material Cupid, then we were telling material. This was the meaning. But after 2019, when we stopped a class, then we had that time, 3 years due to COVID. So I could search little more. Now new meaning came about Madan, which is the sweetest one and fit for Radharani. Yes. But other meaning, the normal Cupid meaning is not fit for Krishna, Radharani and Krishna. But this is best meaning for Madan. So what is meaning of Madana? Madayati, Sambhogan se Harsayati, Vipralamban se Glapayati cha iti Madana. Madayati means Harsayati, who is giving transcendental bliss and happiness. How? By meeting. By meeting, who is giving transcendental bliss and happiness. Vipralamban se Glapayati, and by separation mood, who is giving the sorrowful mood and suffering to the devotees, especially to Radharani. He is Madan, means Krishna. Now you understand the meaning of? There is a verbal root which is called Madi. Madi Harsha Glapanayoho. Before I have spoken several times, even in USA, Europe, etc., that there are 1000 prominent verbal roots. 1000 prominent. There are many. Out of 1000 prominent verbal roots, one is Madi. Madi means Harsha Glapanayoho. The meaning of Madi means to give happiness and to give sorrowful mood and suffering, which has two meanings. So here Madana came from the word, the verbal root Madi, and the meaning of Madi is happiness and suffering. So here how Madan, if you remember the 1000 verbal root and if you have ability to make the words from verbal root, then you don't need any dictionary. You can make the meaning yourself, but you should have that ability and efficiency to make. You should memorize all these words, verbal roots, and you should know the process how to make it. For example, Madi, verbal root. If you remember, but you should know how to make from Madi to Madan. Then you don't need any dictionary. If you remember all these and the process how to make the word, then you don't need any dictionary. You will become yourself one dictionary. How a dictionary came? The scholars, they made the dictionary. Those who are ignorant, they are taking the help of dictionaries. But who knows the words, they don't need any dictionary. Similarly. But for this you should remember all the verbal roots. Then only you can make the meaning. But you should know how to make the words also. So from Madi became Madana. So Madi means who is giving happiness and who is giving suffering, both. Both can be given. Because meaning is Madi Harsha Glapanayoho. The meaning of Madi is Harsha means happiness and Glapana means suffering. So how Krishna is giving happiness and suffering both? Because according to Madi, Krishna's name became Madan. Now we can try to know why Krishna's name became Madan. How Krishna is giving happiness and how Krishna is giving unhappiness both simultaneously. How it is possible? Yes, now come. Really, Madan is applicable to Krishna completely. Why? Madayati Harsayati Sambhoganse. When Krishna is giving happiness to the devotees and Brajavasis, especially Radharani and Gopis, when Krishna is meeting. When Krishna is meeting Radharani, all Gopis are becoming very happy. So Sambhoganse means by meeting, Krishna giving happiness. And Vipralambanse, when Krishna is giving separation mood, then giving the pain. So that is why Krishna's name is Madan. Now clear? Why it is Madan? Madan means who is giving happiness in Sambhoga by meeting, and who is giving suffering in separation mood. He is Madan. So and he is who? Krishna. Krishna is giving happiness to Gopis and Brajavasis and all devotees when he is giving meeting by Sambhog. And when he is separating from devotees, Gopis and Radharani, then giving suffering. So his name is Madana. So Radharani here is telling, Same Madana Mohana. Now this is the meaning of Madana. Mohana means this Madana who is controlling, dominating, attracting to everyone. He is Madana Mohan. So Krishna is attracting to Gopis, Radharani, all Brajavasi, all devotees. So his name is Madana Mohan. But our Kaviraj Goswami said, Radha Sange Jada Bhati Tada Madana Mohan. When Krishna is with Radharani, then he is only Madana Mohan. But when Krishna is alone, Swayam Madana Mohita. Krishna himself is being attracted by Madan, transcendental Cupid. So real Krishna is Madana Mohan when he is with Radharani. So without Radharani, Krishna is Madana Mohita, no Madana Mohan. Understand the meaning? Deeper. We are telling Madana Mohan, Madana Mohan, Madana Mohan. Bol Sri Madan Mohan Bhagavan ki jai. Bol Sri Radha Madan Mohan Bhagavan ki jai. Real Madan Mohan is when Krishna is with Radharani. We should not tell Krishna when alone he is Madan Mohan. If you go deeper, this is relevant rasa. For general meaning, for common siddhanta, for common ordinary people, for general public, we may say Madan Mohan, that is different thing. But among Rasika Bhaktas, Krishna is not a Madan Mohan when he is alone. So come to the point, when rasa is being considered, among Rasika Bhaktas, Rasika devotees, and when coming the consideration of rasas, transcendental mellows, Krishna is not Madan Mohan when he is alone. That is wrong. But you will find everywhere Madan Mohan, single Krishna also we are telling Madan Mohan, Madan Mohan. Okay, this is for common siddhanta, for general public, for everyone. But among Rasika devotees assembly, we may not say Krishna is Madan Mohan when he is alone. Because Kaviraj Goswami telling, Radha Sange Jadavati Tada Madan Mohana. When Krishna is with Radharani, then only he is Madan Mohan. But when he is alone without Radharani, Swayam Madan Mohita. He is being attracted by Madan. So he is not Madan Mohana. His name is Madana Mohita, not Mohana. We can tell single Krishna is Madana Mohita, no Madana Mohan. When we see Radha Krishna together, then only Madana Mohan. This is the meaning for Rasika Bhaktas. But if you tell those who are not Rasika, they cannot digest this. Those who are not Rasikas, they cannot digest. Oh, Krishna is always Madan Mohan, why not? Yes, for him, because like Kaviraj Goswami said in Chaitanya Charitamrita, oh, why you explained in detail in Chaitanya Charitamrita about rasas in general public? Because Kaviraj Goswami explained all rasas. He did not skip any rasa in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Then opposition party asked, or some devotee asked, you explain all rasas which are confidential in front of public in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Then Kaviraj Goswami said, yes, I explained. Why? Because it is necessary. Otherwise, how Rasika Bhaktas will release? But what I explained, all cannot be released by everyone. Why? A crow always will go to the dark, dirty place. crow will release the sweetness of cough and other so many dirty things which is inside the drain. If you throw sweet things also, crow will not eat. But kokil, the cuckoo bird will release always sweetness of mango and sweet fruits. So those who are rasika, they will take the real meaning of these rasas. But towards this, whole world will not be attracted. Everyone will not be attracted. All will be attracted according to their qualification. So I have given everything for everyone. So according to their qualification, they will be attracted to that place. Don't worry. No problem. Because I did not give only Madhurya Rasa. I have given all rasas. Even I have given Santa Rasa also. Even I have given mundane rasas also. What is the difference between mundane and spiritual and transcendental? So I have given everything. So according to their ability and qualification, all will be attracted towards that place. So who is crow, he will not be attracted for mango, to release the sweetness of mango. He will be attracted towards a drain, where so many stool, mucus are there to taste. Similarly, those who are non-devotees, materialists, they will be attracted for sense gratification. This is mundane rasa. But those who are rasikas, who are related with Krishna in transcendental rasas, they will be attracted and they will release. So if I would not write, then how they will release this? So for them I have released it. Like Krishna created a mango and other sweet fruits for cuckoos to release the sweetness, not for crow. But for crow he created different things also. So crow will be attracted for that spontaneously. You need not give training to the crow to go take the mucus, etc. When cuckoo will see, crow will see the mucus, automatically he will go there and toss the beak and taste. But cuckoo bird will never go to the drain. He will always go to the mango tree and release the sweetness of mango and other sweet fruits. Similarly, Rasika Bhaktas who are related with Krishna in prominent four rasas, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, Madhura. So they will release all these rasas. So for them I have written this. And others, if they try also, they cannot understand. So no problem. Similarly, this modern meaning is for Rasika Bhakta, not for non-devotees. Non-devotee will be confused and cannot digest this. Oh, Madan Mohan means always Krishna only. How he is Madan? No Madan Mohan when alone. He is Madan Mohan forever. This is for common devotee. But Rasika devotee like Kaviraj Goswami, he is using the word Madan Mohan. When Krishna is Madan Mohan, when he is with Radharani. Radha sange Jada Bhati. Jada means when. Bhati means looking beautiful. With whom? With Radharani. When Krishna is with Radharani together, then only he is Madan Mohan. But when Radharani is not there, Swayam Madan Mohita. His name is Madan Mohita, not Mohan. So now Radharani using the word Same Madana Mohana Sakhi Tanoti Netra Spruham. Oh my dear Sakhi, that Madan Mohana who is Nandanandan Krishna is increasing my desire to see him. Tanoti means increasing. Vistarayati means expanding. What is my desire I have now, that desire is increasing and expanding. By whom? By this Madan Mohan Krishna. But for your wish, our Padma Maharaj came. Jai Pujabhakti Jai Bhakti Vedanta Padma Maharaj ki Jai. Oh, we already completed the real meaning of Madan Mohan. No, we were releasing the real meaning of Madan Mohan. Yes. But it is recorded, you can. Maharaj need one chair. Hey, go, bring one chair, back side. Or here. Maharaj, bring one chair, no problem. Same Madana Mohana Sakhi Tanoti Netra Sruha. This is the meter called Prithvi meter. So this is different rhythm. So now Radharani telling, hey Sakhi, that Madan Mohan is increasing my desire and increase the tendency of eye to see more and more. So without looking him, my eye cannot be peaceful. So you arrange meeting with Krishna. So Radharani requesting in front of Vishakha Sakhi. Then Vishakha asked, oh my dear Swamini Radharani, now you are telling that Krishna is attracting your eye, but what is the cause of attraction? Why you are being attracted? Then Radharani telling, do you want to know why he is attracting my eyes? Because he is so beautiful. Then Vishakha asked, how beautiful you tell me? Because Vishakha trying to release herself also from the lips of Radharani. Who can be best elaborator to explain the Krishna's beauty? Radharani. So Radharani is the best orator and speaker about Krishna's glory. So now Vishakha want to release this from the lips of Radharani. So now Radharani is explaining about the beauty of Krishna. How Krishna is beautiful. Then Radharani telling, Navambuddha Lasadyuti. Krishna's bodily complexion, Krishna's beauty of body is Nava Ambuddha. Nava means new, Ambuddha means cloud. So we are several times using Krishna's complexion and body like cloud. Yes, care should be taken. Cloud is okay, but if you want to know perfect complexion of Krishna's body, perfect, appropriate, then we should take the Acharya Radharani, her word. How Krishna's body is like cloud, not like cloud only. Nava Ambuddha, new cloud. You have to use the word new, Nava. Radharani telling, ordinary cloud is not Krishna's complexion. Any cloud cannot be Krishna's complexion. So here we should be careful. Radharani is telling the perfect complexion of Krishna's beauty. So Radharani telling Navambuddha. Nava means new. When cloud is new, when cloud became very old and broken here and there, that is not comparable with Krishna's complexion. So here care should be taken. We should use the word perfect word. According to the best Acharya Radharani. No one can explain more than Radharani. So Radharani is the best Acharya and a teacher and a professor to explain Krishna's beauty. How Krishna's bodily complexion is. Although we are finding different, okay, that is okay for that circumstances, for that particular time, for that speaker. But we should take the most bona fide beauty of Krishna, and what is his bodily complexion? Nava Ambuddha. Nava means new, Ambuddha means cloud. When we are looking very new cloud, completely fresh cloud, not old and broken going here and there, no. Nava Ambuddha means very fresh and a new cloud. And that cloud also not ordinary. Lasat Dyuti. Lasat means looking so beautiful. Dyuti means effulgent. So Krishna's body is looking like a very new, beautiful, effulgent cloud. You will find so many varieties of cloud coming in the sky. Many are looking white, mixed and brown, etc. No. All cloud we should not compare to Krishna's bodily complexion any cloud. All cloud cannot be comparable. Only one cloud will be comparable with Krishna, which Radharani is certifying. So what is the real complexion of Krishna's body which is making so beautiful to him? That is Nava Ambuddha Lasat Dyuti. Nava means new, Ambuddha means cloud, Lasat means beautiful, attractive, and Dyuti means effulgence. So we have to use 4 words to complete Krishna's beauty and color. And this cannot be possible unless you take Radharani's words. Radharani explaining the real complexion of Krishna's beauty. We are sometimes making here and there according to our speculation different colors. But appropriate color of Krishna's beauty is explained by Radharani, that combination of 4 words. Then it will complete Krishna's beauty and give the proper appropriate complexion of Krishna's body, which can attract to Radharani also. And Radharani explaining herself that she is being attracted and her eyes are being attracted towards Krishna. Why? What is the reason? Then Radharani is explaining the beauty of Krishna. How Krishna is beautiful? Nava, Ambuda, Lasat, Dyuti. 4 words, combination of 4 words. Then only it will explain the real beauty of Krishna. If you skip 1 word, you will miss. Then Krishna's beauty will not be complete. So, to complete and present the real beauty of Krishna perfectly, we have to take the words of Radharani, which is a combination of 4 words. That is Nava, Ambuda, Lasat, Dyuti. When you combine 4 words meaning, then what will come? That is the real beauty of Krishna and complexion. So Radharani explained in front of Vishakha that Nava, Ambuda, Lasat, Dyuti. Nava means new, Ambuda means cloud, Lasat means beautiful, and Dyuti means effulgence. So how Krishna's body is looking beautiful, which is attracting to Radharani's eye. So Krishna's beauty is like a very effulgent, beautiful, fresh cloud, which is similar to Krishna's body. And when Radharani is remembering that decoration which I told, when remembering Radharani, immediately Radharani is unable to control the eyes. Then Radharani telling Sa Madana Mohana, that Madana Mohana whose bodily complexion and beauty is like the effulgent, most beautiful, fresh cloud. He Sakhi, Tanoti me what is Netra Sruham. The desire of my eye is increasing to see him. So this is the one part of beauty of Krishna's body. Then coming again. Then now Radharani explained about the bodily complexion of Krishna's beauty. Now coming according to the Radharani's explanation, come to the garment and cloth of Krishna's beauty. Then telling Radharani, Nava Tadin Manogyam Baraha. What kind of cloth Krishna is using? How Krishna is decorated, by which cloth? Radharani telling Nava. This also Nava means very beautiful and fresh. Krishna, we should not use Krishna very dirty cloth always. Krishna is always very beautiful new cloth. Nava Vidyut. When Vidyut means the thunderbolt, which is very fresh and very lightning, very good light is coming, which is very effulgent. So Nava Tadit Manogya. So Krishna is using that Pitambara, which is called Pitambara. So Krishna's Pitambara, we are telling Pitambara means just a yellowish silk garment or cloth. But not only that. Radharani is explaining what should be the Krishna's cloth. That is why Radhika Amara Guru. And Krishna also thinking Radharani is my Guru also. So Radharani is giving teaching to everyone how to do service of Krishna. So without Radharani, our Krishna service cannot be completed and perfected. So how to serve Krishna completely to satisfy him, we should learn from Radharani. Because she is the most prominent Acharya for Krishna's service. Others are under her. No other Acharya can complete Krishna's satisfaction. Only Radharani can complete. So now Radharani explaining the Pitambara of Krishna. How Krishna's beautiful Pitambara is Nava Tadit, very fresh, new thunderbolt. When sparking in the sky, inside the cloud, how lightning is coming, how beautiful sparkling and light is coming. That time, manogya. Manogya means which is attracting to the mind of everyone. Manogya, ambara. Ambara means cloth. So Krishna is decorated by the pitambara, the cloth, yellow silk garment, which is very beautiful, most effulgent, like the thunderbolt when it is coming inside the sky, inside cloud. So this is the decoration of Krishna's pitambara. Then Radharani explaining the beauty of Krishna. Next step. Only by complexion, only by the pitambara, Krishna's beauty is not completing. Then Radharani explain next one. Suchitra Murali, Suchitra Murali, Subhaga Tarahara Pravaha. Suchitra Murali. Su means well, nicely. Chitra means decorated. Krishna's, we are telling flute, flute, flute. Krishna has so many different varieties of flute. And prominent are three: Murali, Bansi, Venu. Krishna, don't think that Krishna is always using one. No, no. Krishna is using according to his necessity. So whenever he wants which is applicable, he is using that one. And you will have Krishna. Krishna has a big storehouse of Muralis and Bansi. Don't think that Krishna is using only one. If you go to Nanda Bhavan, you will find that. But this Nanda Bhavan we cannot find now, because now is Aprakata Braja. At the beginning of Brajamandal Parikrama, I have spoken, I think, Govardhan explained. There are three Brajas, I told. Remember? Huh? Huh? Yes. There are three Brajamandal. There are three Dhamas. One is Drushyaman, one is Prakata, third one is Aprakata. So now we are in Aprakata Braja. Here we are not looking, and we are Drushyaman also simultaneously together. But this Drushyaman Braja is floating. And when floating, we are thinking how we are sitting, how we are floating. For this we have to go deeply, which I have already explained in Govardhan, not repeating again to save the time. So now we are looking the Nanda Bhavan is Drushyaman in the form of Aprakata also. So there we cannot find all the Bansi which Krishna is using. Maybe 1, 2, how many they have kept, we will see how in Nanda Bhavan. But really Krishna has a big storage of Bansis, not only one. Prominent category are three: Murali, Bansi and Venu. And each Murali, Bansi and every has a different design, different length, different number of holes. So according to the number of holes, according to the number of size, according to the number of length, name is given. Whether it will be Bansi, Murali or Venu. So there are so many varieties, it is different topic, we are not going there. So here Radharani telling Suchitra Murali. Now Radharani explaining the Murali, because Venu is at Purvarag, Venu. Now is Murali, which is attracting to Krishna, Radharani. So means Murali has a significance here. So Radharani telling Suchitra Murali. Su means nicely decorated. Chitra means so many varieties of decoration. We are looking that flute is normal, the bamboo which is full of holes. But Krishna's flute is not like this. Krishna's flute is not like a only ordinary flute which is full of holes to play the flute. Radharani telling Suchitra, there should be nice decoration. Not only bamboo hole and some holes to play. According to Radharani, the real Murali of Krishna is Suchitra, nicely decorated. So don't think that every Murali, every Vansi is Krishna's Vansi. No, no. It may be for ordinary common people, they are playing for them. But Krishna's Murali has a speciality. How? Su is using Upasarga, Su. Su Chitra. Chitra means so many designs, decorations. And Su means nicely. So that it should be so nicely decorated that no one can tell, no, you should have decorated like this. This is the meaning of Su. Su, when you use su means it completed all decoration. How many varieties of decoration is possible, that can be done. Then only you can use su. If something lacking, then you cannot use su. Su means well, best. So Radharani telling Krishna's flute is so beautiful, which is nicely decorated. This is the meaning of Suchitra. Chitra means decoration, so many arts making, like Chitra Sakhi. Chitra Sakhi is mistress for so many arts of Krishna and Radharani, which is in Varsana. Her village is Chiksoli, near Varsana. So Chitra is expert. Chitra Sakhi is expert how to make so many design and decoration. And Chitra Sakhi must have decorated also Krishna's Murali, Bansi, because she is very expert. So Radharani telling Suchitra Murali means Krishna is using a Murali which is nicely decorated. And a Subhaga, then Krishna's face and lips are decorated by the very beautiful Murali. Now you come to the comparison. If you go deeply to think, now Krishna is compared like the cloud. And his face is how? Suchitra Murali Subhaga Hara Mala Prabha. Means now Krishna's Murali is nicely decorated, then he used the necklace which is very beautiful, but that is looking like the star. Like in the sky there is moon god, and moon god is giving the nectar. Similarly here Krishna's face is like Chandra, moon, and from moon nectar is coming. Then who is nectar? Now from the flute nectar is coming. When Krishna is playing the flute, that is giving the nectar. So this is the comparison about Krishna's beautiful face. So here Radharani is explaining Navambuda Lasadyuti Navavidyu Manogyambara Suchitra Murali Subhaga Tarahara Prabha Mayura Dala Bhusita. Then telling Mayura Dala Bhusita. Krishna's face is decorated by Mayura Dala, means peacock feather. So without peacock feather, Krishna's decoration is incomplete. So Pujari always should remember this. Because Radharani is teaching how Krishna should be decorated. So now, according to Radharani's explanation, we should decorate Krishna. So if we have decorated to Krishna, we have done the Sringara of Krishna, but without peacock feather, then Krishna's Sringara is incomplete, not proper. Why? Radharani looking in Krishna always peacock feather. And what is that word? Radharani telling Mayura means peacock. Mayura Dala Bhusitaha. So we should decorate Krishna's head by very beautiful peacock feather. So without peacock feather, Krishna's Sringara is incompleted. We should remember this. Peacock feather is compulsory to decorate Krishna. And this is the significance of Nandanandana Krishna in Vrindavan. In Mathura, no peacock feather. In Dwarka also no peacock feather. Mostly peacock feather is only in Braja. So, to Nandanandana Krishna's decoration is peacock feather. Radharani telling Mayura Dala Bhusitaha. So Mayura means peacock, Dala means feather, Bhusita means decorated. So if we forget sometime during decoration, that is different thing due to forgetting, but after remembering again we have to check that peacock feather is compulsory, mandatory to put in Krishna's head. Without peacock feather, Krishna's decoration is incomplete, Krishna will not be happy. Why? There is big pastime about peacock feather, I am not going there, already time going to end. So why Krishna is taking peacock feather on the head? There is also story. So if we want to please Krishna, then we have to give always peacock feather on Krishna's crown or head, or pagdi, turban. When we are making turban also, in turban also peacock feather must be there. You can change turban or crown, etc., no problem, but you should attach peacock feather. And here Radharani explaining Bhusita. Bhusita means nicely decorated. So there are minimum 3 peacock feather are very good. 3. Or at least 1. Without peacock feather, no decoration of Krishna's head. So those who are pujaris, they should remember all these. So from today onward, if we have done, that is different thing. But from today onward, Radharani is giving instruction how beautiful Krishna is, and without peacock feather, his beauty will not be completed. Because we are not following according to Radharani, how she is explaining how Krishna is beautiful. So she is clearly speaking, Mayura Dala Bhusitaha. We should use peacock feather for Krishna to beautify. And in 3 places, there are 3 peacock feather can be decorated to beautify Krishna's crown and turban. But minimum 1 is necessary. But more than 3 are more nicely decorated. Here our commentator, Acharya, they are telling 3 nice peacock feathers are decorated on the crown and or turban of Krishna, that he is looking so beautiful, which Radharani is explaining. So 3 places of head of Krishna we can decorate very beautiful peacock feather. This is the meaning of Mayura Dala Bhusitaha. Mayura Dala Bhusitaha. So Mayura Dala Bhusita means peacock feather. Same Madana Mohana means that Madana Mohana Sakhi Tanoti Netra Sruham. O Sakhi, that Madana Mohan is increasing the desire of my eyes to see that beauty of Krishna. So now I am unable to see that Krishna. That's why my eye is uncontrolled. So please kindly arrange how to see Krishna, how to see that beauty of Krishna, so that my eye will be blissful and peaceful and out of tensions. So now Radharani is explaining in front of Vishakha Sakhi. Before she explained how simultaneously 5 senses are being attracted towards Krishna, and now she is explaining in front of Vishakha Sakhi how each and every senses are being attracted to Krishna. So today in front of Vishakha Sakhi, Radharani explained how Krishna's eyes, both eyes are being attracted towards Krishna, how Radharani's both eyes are attracted towards Krishna. Today she explained in front of Vishakha. Tomorrow we will see how Radharani is explaining in front of Vishakha Sakhi how her other senses are being attracted. Tomorrow Radharani will explain how Radharani's ear is being attracted. Today already time is over, we cannot complete if we start. So today we have already completed how Radharani's eye is being attracted towards Krishna's decoration, which is forcing her to go and see Krishna, and now she is asking help of Vishakha. But she could not explain complete beauty of Krishna and how all 5 senses are being attracted by Krishna, and Radharani is now unable to control. And tomorrow we will see how Radharani is explaining other 4 beauty of Krishna which are attracting other 4 senses of Radharani. Today Radharani explained in detail how Krishna is attracting Radharani's eye, and tomorrow we will explain how Krishna is attracting Radharani's ear, and how Krishna is attracting Radharani's tongue, how Krishna is attracting Radharani's touch, how Krishna is attracting to Radharani's tongue. So all we will discuss tomorrow. Today we completed only eye. So you see, unless we listen this, we cannot know the real beauty of Krishna. Because other places we will see something lacking. But Radharani is speaking in five verses in detail about beauty of Krishna. How each and every beauty can attract Radharani's each and one sense. So no one can explain more than this. Why? Because Radharani is who is the releaser, the highest releaser of Krishna's beauty. So, yeah.
You explained the difference between Madan Mohan and Madan Mohita. Madan Mohan, Krishna's transcendental Cupid, he's attracting everyone, especially Radharani is most beautiful when he's with Radharani.
Yeah, yeah.
When he's not with Radharani, he's Madan Mohita.
Madan Mohito.
Could you explain a little bit more about that
Yeah.
condition? Why?
Yeah, yeah. Krishna sang Radha sange jada bhati tada madana mohan. Kaviraj Goswami saying, when Krishna is with Radharani, then he is real Madan Mohan. But when Radharani is not there, then Swayam Madana Mohita. He is no more Madana, he is Madana Mohita. And this releasement is only for Rasika Bhaktas. Others cannot understand this. They cannot digest this. So this meaning is for Rasika Bhaktas. Otherwise, they will think Madan Mohan is always Madan Mohan like this. Because they cannot enter in the sweetness of rasa.
What exactly is Madan Mohita?
Madan, yes. Exact meaning of Madana Mohita means, Madana means Cupid. Mohita means attracted. Attracted and influenced. Mohita.
Krishna is being influenced.
Krishna is being influenced by transcendental Cupid.
Right before he was influencing, now he's being influenced.
When Radharani is there, he is influencing to others.
Influence to others.
He can attract others who will see to him. Who will see to Krishna, he will be attracted by Krishna when Radharani is with him. But when Krishna is alone, then Krishna is himself is being attracted by Cupid. So his name is Madana Mohita, no Madana Mohan. Understood the difference?
He's longing for Radharani.
Yes. So longing for Radharani, trying to meet with Radharani means it is the influence of Cupid, transcendental Cupid. For example, I have to give one material example, otherwise it is difficult to understand. Because there is nothing which is equal to Radharani and Krishna to understand. That's why you have to take the help of material examples. Then become easy. For example, when a girl is being attracted to boy, or boy is being attracted to girl. Why? Due to influence of Cupid. When Cupid is there, attraction is there. If you know Cupid is not 24 hours, sometimes stable, sometimes dormant also. That time no attraction. Cupid is taking some time rest also. When Cupid is sleeping, no attraction. Everyone has experience of this. All living entities. When he is sleeping and dormant, no attraction. But when he is waking up, attracting to everyone and disturbing. So when a boy is attracted towards a girl and girl is being attracted towards a boy, means the Cupid is active and waking up. So then we can see the activities, and by looking we can know. Even if you see the face, whether he is under Cupid or not, it can be known. Only by looking the face, because the mood of face will be different when you are not under Cupid. Yes, and mood of the face will be different when you are under Cupid and not out of Cupid. Yes. So for this you have to study. There one scripture is there, Samudrika Shastra. In Samudrika Shastra, all the symptoms are there. That is taking long time. No need go there. Just for understanding, like when a boy is attracted towards a girl and girl is attracted towards a boy, then we should know that Cupid is active. Similarly, when we are looking that Krishna is being attracted towards Radharani, then we should know that he is Madana Mohita. But we should not think that Krishna is being attracted by this material Cupid. No, he is transcendental Cupid. And that transcendental Cupid is none but Krishna himself. Krishna himself also, transcendental Cupid. So in one form he is being attracted, in one form he is attracting also. That is why this is inconceivable. For this we need proper sadhana and cleansing the heart and the soul, and need lots of blessings of Guru and Vaishnavas. Otherwise it is told inconceivable. By material knowledge, by material experience we cannot realize this. So, how we can know that Krishna is Madan Mohan or Madan Mohito? When he is with Radharani, always in joyful mood. Because Radharani is there, so in joyful mood means he is Madan Mohan. He can attract others. He can give bliss to others. But when Radharani is disappearing, then Krishna is in restless. Restless to search Radharani, very Radharani means now Madan Mohito, not Madan Mohan. Now clear? Yes. So how Radharani is explaining about the beauty of Krishna, which is attracting Radharani's other senses, we will discuss tomorrow. Now I will stop here.
One last question about Krishna's complexion, as Srimati Radharani was describing. Could you please explain, Maharaj, why it said Nava Ambuda and not any mention of the dark color Krishna?
Sorry?
No any mention of dark color Krishna.
Really dark we are using, that not fitting properly. Radharani is telling the perfect. That is really perfect, because sometimes we are making dark to Krishna, that is not appropriate. Not appropriate. Krishna is not real complete dark. Indra Nilamani, Neel, blue and like cloud. Dark we are making, but that is not completely correct. Yes. So Radharani telling means she is Acharya, she knows perfectly about Krishna's complexion, so it is correct. Because she who is well versed about Krishna, she is explaining. So it is perfect really. Understood? Yes. Vansakotravyacha kripa sindhu patitanam pavane vaishnavyo namo. Jai. Jai Maharaj. Bhakti Vedanta Swatan Maharaj. Bhakti so long. You no mercy. You high and poor. Today my 13 increase. By